Okay, so this is video 2 for factoring with the distributive property. So first we're going to fill in the missing dimensions with what we're given, and they already gave us the 2 and then the x plus 6. So this is kind of a review. So we would fill in 2x, and then 2 times 6 would be positive 12. So there's where that expression comes from. So now we're going to work absolutely backwards. So they give us the inside of the rectangle, and they're telling us to pull out 5. So we would just have to ask ourselves, 5x divided by 5, well, that's x here, and then 20 divided by the 5, and that would be 4. So the first expression would be 5, and then x plus 4, and then the second one they gave us, 5x plus 20. So here, they're telling us that they pulled out an 8 here. Well, 8 times what gets you 48? 8 times 6. So then we have to divide 6x divided by 6, and that leaves us with x. So then our expression here, we have 6 times the quantity x plus 8. And then the second one, 6x plus 48. And the last one, we obviously know there's going to be an x there, but we have to look at 10 and 30 and figure out what is going to be the biggest factor that they share. Well, 10. So 10x divided by 10 is just x, and then 30 divided by 10 is just 3. So our first one, we have 10 times the quantity x plus 3, and then now 10x plus 30. Okay, so now it's kind of us working on our own, filling in the missing dimensions. So they give us the expression that's in the middle of the rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and write my 5x and then my positive 35. Okay, now we have to ask ourselves, what is the biggest number from 5 and 35 that we can divide both of those by? Well, I always start with here. Can I divide it by 5? Absolutely. So 5x divided by 5, that's just x. That would be like if you had this, 5x divided by 5. Those go away. You're just left with x. Okay, then 35 divided by 5, that's 7. So here, 5 and then x plus 7. Okay, so in the middle here of the rectangle, 2x and then a positive 12. So it's already telling us to pull out a 2. So 2 here. So then 2x divided by 2, that's just an x. And then a positive 12 divided by 2 is 6. So x plus 6 there. Here we have 3x and then a negative 21. So looking at 3 and 21, the greatest number that they share would be a 3. So 3x divided by 3, it's just x. And then negative 21 divided by 3. So negative 21 divided by 3, that leaves me with negative 7. So it's going to be a minus 7. So the expression will be 3 and then x minus 7. Okay, so the next one here, number 8, we have 7x minus 21. Looking at the biggest factor they share, we can pull out a 7. And then that would leave us with x minus 3. So here the 7's on the outside and x minus 3. It's kind of exactly opposite of what we just did. So this next one, we have negative 3x and a negative 15. So they kind of gave us a hint to pull out a negative 3. So negative 3x divided by negative 3, that goes away. It's a positive x. And then we have negative 15 divided by negative 3. That leaves us with positive 5. So x plus 5 there. Here again, we got negative 5x and then a positive 45. So looking at what we can pull out, I always look here. Negative 5 is the easiest to divide by. So if I divide by negative 5, x divided by negative 5, that leaves us with just a positive x. And now we've got 45 divided by negative 5. So that's going to be a negative 9. So minus 9. So our expression is negative 5 times the quantity x minus 9. Okay, so we're going to do a few practice problems together. Factoring, the most difficult part is probably trying to figure out what's the greatest number that you can divide by. I usually ask myself, we have 4x and then minus 16. I ask myself, can I just divide by that number? Like, will that work? In this case, yes, I can divide by 4. So that would just be x, and then it'll be a negative 4. So our expression is 4, and then x minus 4. Number 12 here, we've got negative 7x minus 35, those terms. And then can I divide by that negative 7? Absolutely. So negative 7x divided by negative 7, that's just x. And then negative 35 divided by negative 7, that is a positive 5, so plus 5. So here we have negative 7 and then x plus 5. Okay, 9x and then a negative 81. So we can pull, can I divide by that 9? Absolutely. So that leaves me with x. Then I have negative 81 divided by 9, so it's going to be minus 9. So 9 times the quantity x minus 9. And the last one, 4x and then a positive 18. So in this case, I look at the 4 here. I can't divide 18 by 4, so that's not what I can pull out to the side here. So I have to think of 4 and 18. The greatest factor they share is just a 2. So now I'm doing 4x divided by 2. Well, if I do 4 divided by 2, that just leaves me with 2x. So up here I have 2x, and then 18 divided by 2, that's just 9. So it's 2 times the quantity 2x plus 9. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and work on these practice problems. Again, they could be on a quiz, so I'm giving you a big hint there. Once you finish working on the problems, you can continue playing the video, and it'll have your answers on there.